Hello and welcome. I'm your host Annika Davis and you are watching The Matter of Opinion, the show that asks the questions you're too afraid to ask. Tonight on the show we have the blue team and the red team. Let's find out more about them.
I'm Rebecca T-Bay, I'm 24 years old and I'm from Catchwell near Garstang and I'm studying BA Hons acting at UCLan. I like acting, I like swimming and I like singing jazz music, and an interesting fact about me is that I went indoor bungee jumping last year.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Cromwell. I'm 19 and I'm from Salford in Manchester. I study screenwriting and I tend to spend my spare time writing short films and plays. An interesting fact about me is that I spent my summer in Berlin with uni filming a short film that I wrote which featured in the Great Northern Creative Festival.
Hi, my name's Declan Shears. I am 20 years old and I'm from a town called Great Howard near Blackburn. I am currently studying media production at UCLan and my hobbies include watching film and TV and playing games. An interesting fact about me is that I can complete a Rubik's Cube.
Hi, my name's Oscar. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Cambridge. I'm a second year sports journalist student. I enjoy filming and editing football matches for highlight packages and montages, and I've backpacked across Morocco.
Backstage we flipped a coin and we found out that the red team are going first. So get choosing your questions, guys. I think we'll begin with question 4. So that is, who's most likely to fall in love first?
I think it'd be the women.
I agree with that.
Because like when you're watching a romantic film, you always see like the women's side more than like the men's side. Apart from Love Actually, that
women
just kind of shows mixed sides.
They express their feelings more than men, don't they? So men are quiet with their feelings.
Not always.
I think they always are. Always. But maybe that's just what I've experienced.
And the target audience for romance films are women, so they watch that, get the hopes up.
That's true.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? See, look, they're staying quite nice.
I disagree.
Why?
With that. I don't know, because you're on about like films like romance films being like tailored towards women. Is that not just like an idea of romance?
Yeah, but they get that idea of romance in their head.
Yeah.
And that's why they're
Yeah, it's a
more
fantasy though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it still
It's
gets
like,
in their head.
It's like Disney films, like the way they do like romance and stuff. It's all sort of tailored. They've created the idea. So they've created the idea of sort of women falling in love first, so that has become a reality because of how we like consume that. So you watch Disney films growing up, and you always see like the princess fall in love first. So then you grow up thinking, I am the princess. I'll fall in love first.
Yeah. Good point.
I think it really depends on like how comfortable you are with the person you're sort of you have feelings for. I think if you are comfortable at a stage where you can express your feeling and not feel embarrassed, or you're not scared of sort of being a bit forward, then I don't think it's a problem. I'd say men fall in love probably a bit quicker and a bit deeper than they should.
Yeah.
No, I'd say they do.
I agree.
No,
They don't really show it.
I know, because I think men are embarrassed about it at the same time.
Which is why you won't show it.
Well, sort yourself
still
out
do
and
it.
start showing it. because then when it gets further on into the relationship, that's when the woman's like, do you even love me? And then that's when you probably might break up and then the man's like, I do love you. And then you're like, well, it's too late now.
Is that not just the woman's? Is that not just the woman's fault though?
No, I
Just
don't
being
think
a
that
bit
is.
like, do you love me?
Because then it's just too late, isn't it?
I don't understand.
No.
I don't see why it matters if you say, I love you, if you actually do.
To be fair, you shouldn't. I almost think you shouldn't even have to sort of reassert it. Like it should be obvious whether or not. If a person needs to ask you, "Do you love me?"
That's true, yeah.
Then that's a sign that it probably isn't a good do.
But then that might be because you're being so shy about it and not showing your feelings properly.
Perhaps in the stage when you meet them, it might be. But I would hope that when you're actually in a relationship with someone, you shouldn't need to reassert it so often, because you should know and you should express it, through other ways.
Sometimes it's just nice to hear the
Yeah,
words though.
It's nice to hear it, but I wouldn't need to hear it every day.
Oh no.
To feel secure.
But then this is where it falls into like, who's more complicated, men or women?
Yeah. Just go
So
back
that
to
did prove a point that women are more complicated than men, but men do make it complicated for women because they don't say what they feel.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to. Actions speak
Yeah, but
louder
you
than words,
should.
don't they?
But like Rebecca just said, it's nice to hear it, isn't it? Because then you're reassuring yourself.
Yeah, but you're acting like you never say it. Which cannot be true. There's no way someone could be together for a considerable amount of time and not say, I love you. Like,
Yeah.
surely they've said
or
it a few
demonstrate it
times.
in some way.
Yeah.
Moving to the next question. Should high schools provide daycare for students who have children? Declan,
Yeah.
we'll move to you.
Okay. Yeah. They should.
Why?
Because say somebody gets pregnant really young, accidentally or however, and for whatever reason, sort of religious reasons, whatever, they can't have an abortion, they're still entitled to their education, even if they've got a kid or not.
Yeah.
And I think it's the school's responsibility to sort of make it as easy for them to get their education as possible, like regardless
Yeah.
of the
I
circumstances.
agree with that because in college anyway, don't you? You can. I'm sure they provide.
Yeah, there's like a
Daycare,
childcare
yeah.
grant or something.
So why should that be different to high schools anyway?
Because
Do
it's
you
not.
think they should have a facility like in the high school itself, so like the child can stay there, and then literally when they're getting picked up from school, they're just there
Yeah,
because they don't want
that's true.
they don't want the child to be too far away from the parent, no matter how young they
Yeah.
are.
To be honest, I think we need better education on actually having children and raising them, because I think if you knew what was entailed, I know a lot of teen pregnancies aren't deliberate, they're not intended, but I think if people are made aware of the stresses and strains that having a child causes financially, emotionally, and what it will do to your education, I think the danger would be with having daycare. It wouldn't necessarily encourage it, but I think it might. I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm against people having
Children in high school.
children in high school, because I mean at the end of the day, if it's consensual and it's if you want to have a child, then fair enough. But I think they should be aware of how important it is to do well at school and get a job to provide.
Because it's one thing, like in the high school, I think in my high school, we had a lesson. Was it PSHE?
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
and they
that?
also did like sex education and stuff, but there was
Oh,
never
yeah.
anything about like you were saying about like what it's like to
Yeah.
actually raise a child.
My high school had a childcare GCSE.
Yeah.
Well, mine had a health and social care, to be fair, actually.
My high school
Yeah, but
didn't have
ours was
that.
like
But-
specifically childcare.
Yeah, so you only learnt about it if you chose to learn about it. It wasn't like
Yeah.
my
And a
God,
lot
you
of
are
those people
firing
did
these
just go on
out.
to get.
Can you? Right, we'll move on to the next question. Who generally wears the pants in the relationship? I think this just varies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on the couple.
Yeah.
I think it depends on like the personality type as well, because some
Yeah,
people are
because
just more.
you would definitely wear the pants in the
I don't know.
relationship.
Like
You
I like
would.
to. I would like to. I like to try and see like both sides. Like I
Yeah.
try and be like equal, but with certain things, I'm like right. Okay. Well, I think it should be this way, but I'm not going to be like that all the time. Like, I think it should be just equal.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be a pants relationship
Stubborn.
necessarily.
I try to, but whether I actually wore the pants, I don't know. But I would try.
I think women do.
I
think
think
women
women
hold
do.
a lot of power in relationships.
I'm quite happy to just be laid back and just let it be decided for me.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, if it's something I'm really passionate about, then obviously I'll say something. But to be honest, I'm just, I'm happy to be a passenger in it.
Oh.
I'm not a yes man.
Who is stronger, men or women?
Well, it depends. Like men are physically
Physically
stronger,
or emotionally.
Yeah. Well,
but like women
both.
carry babies,
Exactly.
so,
So,
women are still physically
I know,
strong.
and women have periods every month. You know, all this going on. What do men do? Nothing.
Well, I'd say that's more of a higher pain threshold than being physically stronger. Because if it's a case of running faster, lifting heavier things, jumping higher, then it will be met.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about a pain threshold, then that's probably,
But then what would you say emotionally? Because I think men anyway, because they hold it back quite a lot, don't they? So
I think only because society for like the last however long has conditioned men to be sort of the strong figure that deals with other people's problems before their own. To be honest, I don't think it really matters. It's more of a personality thing.
true. But then I read something quite a while ago, and it said like this year has been the most year for male suicide. So I know.
I think it's because there's so many expectations of them.
that's true. Yeah.
It's an idea of strength, like emotional strength, rather than people
But
actually
there are
being
a lot
strong.
of like adverts, like campaigns now that actually are trying to make people more aware of like male suicides
Male.
and stuff.
What
I think
was
it's
that thing that you were saying about the Movember?
Movember, yeah,
Yeah.
that's about mental health in men.
Bloody hell. On question number 9, who would you say generally lies more?
I want to say women, which is bad because like some people. I'm not saying all women do it. Some women like lie about like the dress size
Yeah,
or like
I sometimes
what
just
they
do it
eat
by
and stuff.
accident. And I don't even mean to.
What
I just tell
makeup
a
they
lie.
have. Like there seems to be like a competition, especially with women, is like who could be the best. People lie to try and be the best, like with their appearance and stuff. Not always, but sometimes it is, especially in our like generation now.
But then I feel like as a guy, I tell a lot of white lies.
Like, what's white lies?
So,
Just like irrelevant lies that don't really
so
matter.
like if your girlfriend's like, do I look nice? And you think no. You say, yeah, you look great.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty dangerous territory to get into.
that is. Especially when you like, do I look nice without any makeup on? You're probably thinking no, but you say yeah.
But the thing is, though, is then, I don't know, is it worse in that situation? To be
lie
honest,
or tell the truth, yeah.
Because, you know, would you rather be lied to, or would you rather have the honest truth? But I mean, both are going to hurt in equal amounts, I think.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to tell me the truth. Like, if
I
I
want
look
someone to tell
absolutely
me the truth.
horrendous, I want to go,
Yeah.
yeah, you look nice. Then we go outside and everyone looking at me like, what are you
I
wearing?
know, exactly. Especially because
You
then
know.
if they told you you look nice, then you'd be flaunting around the bedroom acting so confident when really you look like awful. So really, it's better for them to tell you the truth, isn't it? Bloody Nora. Last question. Do you think pineapple belongs on pizza?
Yes.
No.
No.
I like it.
Absolutely
Unequivocally.
not.
So you two like it, but then you two don't. So you're all against each other on this.
Well, it's not like it's anything that ridiculous.
No, it
Yes,
is.
it
It's not
is.
like
It's
custard
like-
creams on
It's like
really isn't.
sweetness with just.
Pineapple.
You would not put a kiwi on a pizza. Why would you put pineapple on a
Because the
pizza?
pineapple works on a pizza.
Yeah, but
It
imagine-
doesn't. It
does.
doesn't.
So just
does
imagine having a
that.
big slice of pineapple and then putting little pieces of pizza on it. Like, no,
Because that doesn't work.
on Facebook.
It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, but it does.
Well,
because
it's been
It doesn't.
They're both on
accepted.
top
Like,
of each
it's on a
other.
menu.
It's
No.
awful.
No, because you got the sweetness of the pineapple, you know, and it complements the saltiness of, like, you know, the pizza.
Yeah, but then all the juice is just on the pizza. Oh,
No, it doesn't, because
It's fruit.
you cook the thing in the oven, you know, the pineapple caramelizes on top. It doesn't leak everywhere and turn into
No,
a
it
soggy
does.
pizza. It doesn't.
It does.
No, you're buying
It
bad
does. It's
pizza
like
then.
you're having a dessert and a main at the same time.
It's like fruit is meant to be healthy. Pizza's
Yeah.
unhealthy. I don't want to mix the two together. Like having pineapple on my pizza doesn't mean that
It
I'm going to have a
tastes
healthy
good.
pizza.
Does not taste.
If I'm going to have a pizza, I want a dirty, greasy pizza that's so unhealthy I'm going to indulge it. Why do I want pineapple on it?
Oh, pineapple just makes it
The addition
awful.
of fruit does not make anything healthy. we should have, you know, strawberry pieces and strawberry ice cream does not, you know, negate the fact that ice cream is very, very unhealthy.
Oh, damn it.
Adding
I
fruit,
wish.
adding fruit is just not a get out to, you know, making food healthy. Sadly. Well, look, you know, us pineapple pizza eaters will, you know, we'll eat our pizza in peace, and you can mind your business.
I'll stick with pepperoni on pizza.
Yeah, I'll eat the pepperoni pizza with you. But I was chucking pineapple pizza.
All right, you guys do that.
Right, well, anyway, that's the end of the show now. Thanks to all our guests for coming on, and we'll see you next week.